Why haven't I been uploading videos? What's been going on? I'm gonna answer that question on this video, but first, the intro.
Indy Jones, back with a trendy flow. I'm still trying to find my voice in this here scenario. Here we go.
I feel guilty. I feel convicted. I have not been uploading videos to this channel. I feel bad. I feel like I've been neglecting you guys that care, been subscribing. A lot of you guys are finding the old content and checking for me, and I really appreciate that. Here's the deal. Look, I've always wanted to make these videos, Motivation Mondays, this content on this channel, vlogging, lifestyle stuff. I've always wanted to make it from a place of overflow, a place of being a practitioner. That's something that I've always admired about Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm a huge fan of Gary V. And he always, he's always done the business first, and then out of the business came out the motivation and the information and the inspiration. And so for me, that it's the same exact thing. I'm a hip-hop artist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a hip-hop artist. That means I have my own music and my own music videos and my own things that I'm doing with the release of Indy Jones 2. And I'm also an entrepreneur, meaning that I have artists signed to me, and I run a small mom and pop shop label called King's Dream Entertainment. And it's been amazing. We've released 2 records this year. My record, Indy Jones 2, came out, and John Keith's record came out, which is called Lost Boys. And I'm about to go on tour and do a bunch of shows. We've already been doing a ton of shows in February, so we're gonna be all over the country. But the big idea is I've never wanted to just be a YouTube personality or Facebook personality or a social media celebrity. I've always wanted to give you guys the value and the information from a place of actually walking through these things. And every time I do a record or a rollout, or like we're about to announce all the dates on the tour that we got coming up, the more I learn and the more practical things I have to offer you. So I apologize, but I don't apologize, because I'm actually running an organization and I'm learning and I'm growing and all these different things, but I'm gonna be more consistent with content here. So I wanted to get that out of the way. This weekend I had a crazy experience, and I wanted to briefly talk about that and give you some insight about disruptions. Oftentimes we are so afraid of failure. We're so afraid of things disrupting our plans. And this weekend I had a wild experience. I had a college show booked at Towson University right outside of Baltimore, Maryland. College shows for independent musicians are the bread and butter. They pay real good money, and I make a lot of money off of doing shows. That's what most independent artists eat, on top of merch and royalties and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't get all the information about the show early enough. Anyway, last minute, booked my flight through Spirit Airlines. First time ever booking a flight through Spirit Airlines. Did my research, understood like the bags, but one of the things I didn't understand was their use of planes. And so I showed up to the airport early, everything seemed good. Right as I walked up to my gate, my flight was 3 hours delayed. I was planning on landing at 6:30. Initially I was supposed to go on at 9:30, and then they bumped the time up to 8:30. Well, all of a sudden my flight was not gonna land till 9. I called the promoter, she was sweet. She was like, look, I gotta cancel the show. We can't do anything about it. No other airlines were going out. It was a complete L. Financially, it was a complete L. Just my own spirit and just feeling discouraged and bummed out. And so Spirit Airlines was gracious. They refunded me my ticket. Alaska Airlines, my return flight, refunded me my ticket. They didn't have to do that. And Spirit Airlines gave me a travel voucher. So this isn't to knock them. Things happen. But in that process, I had to make a choice, and I had to choose if I was going to stay in a state of despair and discouragement, or if I was going to happen to the situation. And in the process, I said, I'm gonna happen to the situation. I'm done being upset. I'm done sitting here and feeling frustrated. After I got my refunds and figured out the flight situation, I said, I gotta do something to make up this L. And so I put up a video on Instagram. Yo, I'm out here taking L's. Show tonight at Towson University canceled due to a flight delay, due to the wonderful people at Spirit Airlines who gave me a refund and a voucher for my ticket. So in life, or Spirit Airlines hands you lemons, you gotta make lemonade. So today, I'm gonna do a feature sale, I'm gonna do a merch sale. I gotta make up this L, because I'm out here taking L's with Spirit Airlines delaying flights and all that. But feature sale today, DM me. The way it worked out is in as of yesterday and today, I've made the same amount of money off of the feature sale that I would have made at that show. And I don't want to get into exactly what I make per show and per feature, but it's completely balanced out financially. On top of which, I got to stay home. I didn't have to go away from my family, and some other things started culminating behind the scenes and some other opportunities that presented themselves because my day was disrupted. And I could have looked at that and said, man, that's a failure. I took an L. Woe is me. Or I could have said, you know what, let me welcome in this disruption. For whatever reason, God didn't want me on that airplane. He didn't want me to go do that show. Ultimately, I could have booked my flight earlier. I could have flew in a day earlier. I could have done all kinds of things different, but that didn't happen. And I believe that in a big God and in the sovereignty of God, and I believe that things don't happen by coincidence. And I think that this week has proven itself to be just as fruitful had I gone to Towson University into the show financially, and I'm going up to LA and having some meetings that wouldn't be happening had I not had that show canceled. And so hopefully that encourages you. Hopefully that gives you some type of insight. And some of the things that I go through as an artist, as an entrepreneur, that I take L's. I even played it off and called the feature sale the lemon sale. You know, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I've had a lot of fun doing features this week. So the big idea that I want you guys to walk away with from this video, man, do not be afraid of taking L's. Don't be afraid of disruptions in your plans. We think of failure as this horrible, horrible thing, but the older you get and the more mature you get as a creative and as an entrepreneur, you actually discover it's not about failure, it's not about L's, it's really about trial and error. I tried something this weekend and it didn't work, and now I've learned my lesson that if I'm ever gonna book with Spirit Airlines again, I can't make a reservation when I have to be at a specific place at a specific time. It was an expensive lesson to learn, but that was a trial and error. There was things that I did that I felt were a failure and I took an L on, but I learned from them. So one, don't look at things as like failure, look at them as trial and error. And then two, when bad things happen to you out of your control, are you just going to sit there and take it, or are you gonna happen and respond to whatever your situation is? I've never been one to just fall back and be like, oh, well, woe was me. You know, and the mental switch went off and I said, I gotta figure out something and I gotta make up for this L. And I bet you by the end of the weekend, I'll even come out ahead financially, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have the ability and the opportunity to create economic resources for myself and create money and create creative ideas and merchandise and all these different things. And so hopefully this video encourages you. Let me know what you guys think. Is the fear of failure something you're struggling with? Do you look at it like trial and error, that even if you try something and it doesn't work, it's still a learning process? Leave me a comment. I also like to hear from you guys. Are there any video ideas that you have for me that you want to see me cover? The good news is me and Zach Sparazzo got like 3 videos in the can that I'm gonna start editing, but I wanted to get this one out here quickly so that I can get back into the routine of shooting videos. I'm about to go on tour for 3 weeks all over the country. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Twitter, and Bands in Town, and you are engaged in those places so that you can know when all the shows drop. We'll have them up at kingstreament.com. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, encouraging, inspiring, informative, man, give it a like, leave a comment, share it with a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Thank you guys so much for watching this.
Welcome on the map, but they ain't wanna let us in, so we came through the back. Look, oh man, Lord bless you with the bands. Hoping he gon' bless you with the tent. No wind, but he ain't about to land. Floating on the black Peter Pan. I do not need your love. My king made me bolder. Like backwards, like Yoda. We out this world, we sold up. flying so incognito. Far away from him, incognito. Came in one way, incognito. Not leaving the same.